Hi, my name is Roberto Vergalito. I own Roberto's Pizza here in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. In this segment of the video, I'm going to teach you how to make a whole wheat crust, pizza crust. It's very simple. It's nothing more different than making a regular pizza crust that you already make at home. In your bucket here, I have approximately 13 liters of water. In this bucket of water, I've already added 1.5 cups of sugar. Now to this bucket, I'm going to add 2 ounces of the Fleischmann's active dry yeast. You can use any yeast that you feel comfortable with or any yeast that you already use. Okay? We just add this to the bucket of water and we'll wait for that to rise. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to rise, in our bowl mixer here, we're going to add 1 cup of salt. We're just going to add in there like that. Over here I'm using an extra virgin olive oil. I prefer to use the olive oil with the whole wheat crust because it does give it a better flavor and a better texture. We only need 1 cup, so we'll just measure a full cup of oil, extra virgin olive oil here. And we're going to add this to our mixing bowl. Excellent. Now, as we're waiting for our yeast to rise, we're going to make approximately about 85 pounds of dough. I'll be adding 25 kilograms of whole wheat flour. Now, depending on the provider or who your carrier is for your flour, they should normally carry a whole wheat flour as well. Anyone will do. I personally use an ADM special whole wheat flour. Okay, it gives me a really good pizza crust and very enjoyable, very tasty, and it, again, very simple to make. Okay, now that our yeast has risen, just to recap, there's 1.5 cups of sugar in this bucket. There's 13 liters of water. Now the water should be lukewarm, around 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we've added 2 ounces of yeast, active dry yeast, to the bucket. As you can tell, it's risen. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add this to our mixing bowl, which has 1 cup of salt and 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So we're going to add this in here. Really, what I like to do is just give the bottom a little swirl so we get all the rest of the sugar and the yeast at the bottom. And now we're going to add our flour. Okay, it's a little heavy for you. You can scoop it in. It's not a problem. While we're waiting for that to mix, it should normally mix for about 11-12 minutes. Should be good enough. Now, your whole wheat crust normally is a little bit harder than your regular pizza crust. So if you see that it's coming out a little bit too soft or wet or mushy, you want to add a little bit more flour to it. If it's the opposite, if it's very hard, you want to add a little bit more water to it. Okay, you'll notice as it starts to mix, the further it gets into the mixing, you'll start to realize, whether you need a little bit more flour, a little bit more water, either or. So again, if it's too hard, you want to add water. If it's too mushy and wet, you want to add some more flour. So while we're waiting for that to mix, we're going to add a little oil to our table so the dough doesn't stick to it after we take it out. Oil this up. Now, just a regular vegetable oil is good. I said the only time I use the extra virgin olive oil is to make my whole wheat crust, and that's only because it gives it a better texture, a little bit more flavor, and that's it. You can use any extra virgin olive oil at any time. Okay, as you can see here, our dough is just about done mixing. We've got a pretty good mixture going, as you can tell. It's not hard, it's not soft, it's just good, perfect. I'm going to bring this down. Now your dough should be dry, okay? somewhat sticky, but not really sticky that it's sticking to your hands. And it's should be quite durable, okay? So, what we're going to do is take this off. I don't suggest that you guys lift this on your own. If you're working with somebody, please let them help you, as this is really heavy. You're going to lift it by your own. You want to use your knees and not your back. We've already oiled our table. We've got this on our table. You're all set. Now we're going to cover it. You want to let it sit for at least half an hour. Is usually a good time. If you want it to sit a little bit longer, it's not that big of a deal. Okay? You want to cover it up nice so the dough sits and rises. Okay, now that our dough is ready to get cut, depending on the sizes that you make, 4 slices, 8 slices, 12 slices, 24s, whatever sizes that you make, or whatever weight that your dough balls are for each different size. We'll cut that up. Notice the dough ball is nice, and just make your dough ball. When you're all done, you throw them in your trays, put them in your walk-in cooler, and let them sit for 24 hours. Next day, they're ready to go. And there's your whole wheat dough.